Hi, welcome to another episode of Talk with Confidence. This is where we have inspirational conversations with inspirational people. Today I have a truly inspiring person in studio with us. His name is Hosea Ramphekwa. Yes, I said it right, Ramphekwa. Mr. Hosea Ramphekwa, welcome.
Thank you, sir. It's such a pleasure to be on your show.
Yeah, man. I've been following you on social media. This is why I wanted you to have you here in studio with us. I understand you're an author and a speaker.
Oh yes, yeah. First of all, just it's such an honor to be on your show.
Wonderful.
And yeah, it's great. I am an author. I wrote 2 books.
Yeah.
Gifted, Hunted, and Haunted, which came out in 2013. And then my latest book, 2017, it's called Wait to be Seated.
Wait to be seated. Awesome, man. I remember reading one of your posts about the book Gifted, Hunted, and Haunted. And I thought, what an interesting title. What inspired the title?
Basically, it was inspired by love, frustration, and pain. Because where I was born in Tsanin, one kid was about 23 years old. He died, and he was so talented at football. You should have seen him do the step overs, the crosses, the tsamayas. He was just outstanding. And then when he died, I was sort of frustrated, and I was pained to say, why is it that geniuses, people who are extremely gifted, why is it that they are forever troubled? Then I went on a journey to check out top musicians, soccer players, actresses, actors, everybody in the art industry, and also professional, variety of professional, areas. And then I came to a conclusion that for every highly gifted person, there are highly equipped demonic and devilish devices that have been devised and delegated for their demise, downfall, or destruction.
The man is an author. I mean, examples that come to mind are the likes of Whitney Houston.
Yes.
Or even more recent, or not that recent anymore, the likes of Tiger Woods.
Yes.
With the scandal that came out. Why do you think the highly talented meet such difficulties? What is the main reason?
The Bible says, to whom much is given, much is required. So you look at, when you are highly gifted, we sort of put you on a sort of iconoclastic pedestal where you are sort of angelic, and we don't expect you to do wrong. So people live with the pressure of wanting to live up to a particular stature and impress people. So and all of us, including yourself and everybody in the studio, is that we have a darker side. So how you manage your darker side actually becomes the key. The darker side can be a source of distraction. It can also be a source of inspiration. It depends on how well you use it. So I think some of them have not really managed the darker side so well. Because you expect me as an author to live a particular lifestyle and not get my English wrong and not behave very well in public and all that. So, however, that particular pressure, it sort of strips away a particular part of me. So when I want to regain that part, I become rebellious. So when I'm rebellious, then it becomes a scandal. So that's how things work.
I mean, like you said, we put people on a pedestal, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, for instance, Whitney Houston, everybody was devastated when she passed away, and it was found out that it was a drug overdose. You mentioned something interesting. You said using the darker side to uplift themselves, to motivate themselves. How does one go about doing that?
Yeah, basically it's there's a crazy part of you that is full of rage, wants to come out, but has been sort of enveloped by certain things. Because let's say right now I declare right here on national TV that I'm a Christian dude and all that. So what people don't expect is to bump into me at enjoying
beverages.
You get what I'm saying? Or you do not expect me to be inboxing the same lady that you're inboxing on Facebook.
Yes.
Because of a particular stature that I'm in. So whenever I step into that, so what happens to gifted people is that they sort of rebel. Because, for example, Tiger Woods, you should understand how he was raised. When he was young, his father put him on a golf course. He worked so hard. So he was robbed of an opportunity to be a normal kid. So he focused on the golf and then he became better. So then he needed an escape from his routine.
From being Tiger Woods.
Yes. Then, guess what? The tiger became the cheetah. So, and when he did that, and believe me, check this out. Tiger Woods moves from being number 1 in the world to being outside the 100. So, what Tiger Woods was supposed to do, this is my thing. Tiger Woods was supposed to come out in public and say, I did it. So what? Focus on my golf. These are the things.
Yes.
Like there are people that I love, but I don't like as individuals. But I love them for their craft.
For their talent.
Yes, one footballer, because I work with in the football industry. There are footballers I don't like as people, like just as individuals. But when they're on the
field,
I love them.
But then that brings a bit of a dichotomy in essence, because once you are talented in a particular thing, let's say you're a musician, let's say you're a footballer, let's say you're a golfer, then there's a perception that is created around the talent. So the talent almost consumes the whole of who you are. And we say, because you are talented at that level, it means that you should be prescribing to certain principles. Are you saying that that's wrong? Are you saying that we should separate the talent from the person?
Yes, we should separate the talent from the person. How you look at South Africa, we've not done well in terms of managing talent. There are so many people you can mention that we didn't handle so well. Even now, because you're on TV, some people may take you serious, but the moment you're off the limelight, they no longer care. So we don't know how to really manage talent, to say, you know what, this is your craft, work out on your craft, and then you have certain weaknesses. Don't focus too much on your weaknesses. But what we are saying is that manage your weaknesses. So that when you manage your weaknesses, then you are able to stand. So part of growing up and part of being especially a man is that you need to know your limitations. Because like for example, I know there are certain places that I cannot go. There are certain people I cannot hang out with. Because should I do that, I'll be exposing myself to certain weaknesses which may become destructive.
So I like that, managing your weaknesses, because if you know that there are certain, as you mentioned, certain places or characters that if I associate with, they attract the weak part of me.
Yes.
As opposed to the strong part of me. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Yeah.
So meaning that the literal translation is that whoever has a head that is weak or wet or soft, the onus is upon the person to protect. Because
you know that particular weakness.
There are certain places I know that even if I carry my big amplified Bible, I will not come back.
Message translation.
Yes, and you know what? You know which scripture I'll be reciting? I'll be reciting Psalm 51. To say that I was born in iniquity.
So that's quite interesting, man. I mean, and it's a big lesson for a lot of people, because people come out of weaknesses or sinful nature.
Yes.
But the thing that makes them to backslide is that they are still interacting with the same crowd. If maybe somebody has a problem with alcohol, they still interact with the same crowd who say, no, let's go to such and such place, and there's going to be drinking there. But you know that you have a weakness for alcohol, but why are you still hanging around with those particular people?
Yes, it boils down to management. So manage yourself, know yourself, and if you are good at something, work hard on that thing and become the best.
Yes,
I think we need to encourage or inculcate a culture of excellence in ourselves. So we have accepted mediocrity on so many levels. You look at our sports, you look at politics and all that. We in this country, we are very low when it comes to excellence levels. So we need to really push on that to say, okay, cool, you may be whatever. If you mess up in certain areas, we don't care. But on the talent that God has given you,
sharpen it.
Yeah, we there's a demand on that because when God has gifted you, He doesn't give you gifts for yourself. He gives you gifts for other people.
Yep.
So we have a demand to say, actually, we expect you to be the best in this.
Wonderful.
Okay, you may be doing whatever you are doing, we don't really care. But at the end of the day, when it comes to whatever thing that you are gifted with, we expect excellence and nothing less.
I love that. I love that. I mean, with this book, what did you want to achieve, or what do you want to achieve? What do you want people to get out of this book? After I've read this book, what must I feel? What must I have learned?
With every book that I write to provoke, thinking. I want people to think. I want you to get angry. I want you to laugh. I want you to cry. I want to actually. I'm taking on a emotional roller coaster ride, and then by the time you are done, you sit down with yourself and you ask yourself questions. Am I really doing enough? So basically, we in the book, what we do is that we discuss the challenges that sort of stall gifted people on their way to ornamenting the world with the gifts and the talent that God has given them. But what we also do is that we also offer solutions to say, here's the problem, here's the solution. So at the end of the day, we're doing what? I'm giving you a rope, either to pull you out of the pit, or you take the same rope, you hang yourself with the rope. That's what I'm doing with the book.
Amazing. In terms of your personal writing journey, where did you start with the writing gift?
Basically, I'm a qualified journalist. I went to school, but focus was on the media and all that, writing for newspapers and television and so on. However, I took interest in books, and then there's one thing I believe that if you can't read, you can't write. So I'm a ferocious reader, and then I consume a lot of books and so on, so that I can sharpen my own skills and so on. So it's been a journey of being self-taught, and then also the onus it's on an individual to go an extra mile. So I desire certain levels in terms of writing, and then hopefully I'll get there. So should I work hard?
What are some of those levels that you desire?
I want to be on the same level as Paulo Coelho, South African Tikeng Motlele, Zakes Mda.
Zakes Mda is brilliant.
He's brilliant. But you need to look out for Tikeng Motlele. So Zakes Mda, it's Maradona. Then Tikeng Motlele, it's Messi.
Wow.
So I don't know which one you are. So those are the Gabriel Garcia Marquez and some of the Hispanic writers. So I want to be in the same class, J.M. Cossier and all that. So the levels are great. So that's why I try to work hard. I want to get there.
Wonderful. I mean, I love that because, and it speaks to anybody in whatever field or sphere of interest. You have to aim high, because that is what will inspire you to get there. If you're setting the bar quite low, then you'll always be, underdeveloped or not fulfilling your full potential.
Absolutely. There's a popular a cliche that says you need to aim for the sun. If you miss the sun, you might, for the moon. If you miss the moon, you might get the star or whatever, something like that.
You land on the stars.
Yeah, so what I'm saying is that we need to aspire to be the best in whatever that we do. Because what's the use of having a talent and the next thing you're not using it, or you're just on the same introductory level that everybody else is at. That's why I also coach football. So I tell the players to say that all of us can hold the ball and pass the ball. So we need your magic. We need you to weave through like a hot knife through butter. You go through players. Have something extraordinary and outstanding. And by the way, a lot of people who are common are not necessarily celebrated. So only those who are excellent
are celebrated.
Yes, because we can all sing. I sing in the shower and I'm very horrible. But when Whitney Houston or R. Kelly hit that particular note, and then you feel that, something, you get goosebumps because somebody is at the highest level of their talent. So let's go there. Let's go higher. That's what I'm saying.
Wonderful. In terms of the South African writing industry, authors especially, what do you think of the level? Do you think we're at a level where we're at our best, or is there more to do?
There's a lot to do because you need to understand our background. We're from apartheid, and then what apartheid did, one of their things was that black people should not be taught how to read or write. And you check the levels of literacy in the country. And also the culture of not reading. Me and you have written books. I really wonder if between me and you, we have sold 50,000 books or so. And yet we live in a country of about 50 million people. So what happens? In America, the Americans, they release a book at 12 o'clock. By the time they go to bed, they have already hit bestseller levels in a day.
In one day.
In one day. But with us, if we do, a vox pox, we go around, we ask people, do you know who's Ntikeng Motlele? Do you know who's Nick Mutlongo? Do you know who's Zakes Mda? You'll be shocked. People don't know some of these authors that we have. Why? Because we have not really brought that particular culture of reading and so on. And now with technology, people are on their phones. You go on a train, everybody's on the phone, headsets on and so on. You can't even have a conversation. So it's a big problem. So the levels of our writing, I'm challenging people to come out and write.
Yes.
And when we write, let's not be typists. We shouldn't just type. Let's be writers.
Exactly.
So let's be challenged. If you check with me, you check my first book 2013 and my latest book 2017. That's a huge difference.
There's improvement.
Yes, that's what
from one level to the next.
Absolutely. Let's keep on growing. That's what I'm saying. So if I'm not writing well, I'm discouraging people. So people need to be encouraged to read.
Yes. Awesome. I mean, I love, like I said, when I first read the title, Gifted, Hunted and Haunted, I thought there's something powerful there, and indeed there is. Now your next book, Wait to be Seated. Here's the book title, Wait to be Seated. And what's the book about? Quite interesting, the title as well, but I want you to go into it. What is the book about?
Wait to be Seated, it's about relationships.
Yes.
Now let me tell you a story. 2014, I'm speaking about my book Gifted, Hunted and Haunted at a jam-packed hall in east of Johannesburg. And guess what? I'm addressing people. So just as I was about to address people, I look down the rows, third row from the stage. I see this beautiful young lady, a yellow bone, like she was so beautiful. And when she smiled, her white as snow teeth, sort of cleansed my soul. And when I saw the lady, I'm like, oh my God, guess what? I flipped the script, I changed the script. Now I want to impress. So I drop the shotgun and then I pick up the Remington AK-47.
Yeah.
Guess what? I want to be like Chuck Norris. Jeez. Because I wanted to impress the lady. So I'm like, no, more Kinyoko push a charm. Guess what I do? I begin to speak and I bring out phrases and all that. Man, I'm on swag, I'm on style, and I'm there when I impress the lady. And as fate would have it, outside, my best friend who was also a speaker, he asked for me to take a picture, to photograph them. He's with the very same young lady I wanted to impress.
Yeah.
And guess what? I didn't even say a word to her. And then I just took the picture, and the picture was on my iPad. So you can imagine, on my way home, I'm busy zooming. And then fast forward, 3 days later, she rocks up at my church, and then she recognizes me. Then we go for an embrace. I wanted the hug to last 2 seconds longer, but we're outside church. So later, then I said to her, I'm giving her a copy of my book and so on. Then I asked for her numbers, and then she gives me the numbers. It felt like the lotto numbers.
The magic number.
Yes. Long story short, we go on a date. And then second date, guess what? Man, she had these beautiful lips, better than Angelina Jolie. One day, those lips rested on mine to give me a new identity. I was no longer a horse, I was hand.
That's what.
And then, guess what? One day, I'm chilling with a friend in 4 ways. She gives me a call and she says, we need to talk.
Yeah.
You know, every man can tell you, we need
Something
to
is
talk.
cooking.
Yes. Then right there and then she said, you know what? I wish to no longer continue with this relationship. Man, I got heartbroken.
Yeah.
So as a result of a heartbreak, I thought like, why not get commercial value out of
this? Yeah.
out of a heartbreak? Then I wrote a book. That's why you have Wait to be Seated.
So we have had to thank.
You have had to thank.
Beautiful. I love that story.
So it was inspired by a heartbreak. And sadly right now when men are heartbroken, they kill.
That's another issue.
So let's stop killing. Let's write books, gents. Do a music video or
Yes, get commercial value, like you said, get commercial value out of your pay.
Donald did a song, The
Yeah.
Love I Know I Deserve.
Yeah.
And the song was there. He won awards and so on.
I mean, even most songwriters, they'll tell you, especially R&B singers,
Yes.
even rappers to some extent, their best songs, somebody like Adele.
Yes.
Adele is a multi-millionaire today because of her bad
Heartbreak.
experiences.
Absolutely.
She didn't go find a gun and shoot the guy.
Yeah.
She went and expressed and actually got healing from that particular experience
Yes.
and made money out of it.
Do you know how devastating a heartbreak does? What makes a heartbreak severe? I asked a question. What determines the severity of a heartbreak? Is it the duration or the intention? Is it because of you spent 5 years in a relationship with her, or is it because you intended to change a surname? So in my case, it was more of an intention, because when I met her, I said, oh, finally, this is my last girlfriend.
Yes.
Man, I'm changing
I've
the
arrived.
surname. Can you believe I even went to gym? I was preparing a pillow for her on my chest. Then guess what? I got recalled.
Yes. Oh, the book is Wait to be Seated. Very interesting. Can you take us into some of the chapters within the book?
Some of the chapters in the book, I speak about fame and finances, you know, to say in relationships, in terms of finances play a massive role. You know, they say that romance without finance is nonsense. So I deal with issues such as that to say when there's money, because some women are in abusive relationships because of the money.
They're staying there for the money.
Yeah, they're staying there because of the e-wallet and girlfriend allowance. So at the end of the day, that's why we get shocked when somebody got killed. But because they were in love with a monster, but the monster had the money. So, and then we also talk about to say like, where's the love? You know, sometimes you find that, you know, people are looking for love, and also there are so many people who are single, and then there are 3 categories of singles. You have the single and satisfied. Majority of those who say they are single and satisfied, they are lying. And then you have the single and sinning. That's basically religion in there, if you believe, and so on. Then you've got the single and seeking. This is the group that of people who have got their money, who've got, you know, things, they got so much love in their hearts, they want to dish it out. And also we need to ask ourselves, is it wrong for women to approach guys, you know, and so on.
What is your opinion on that?
The dynamics have changed. So what I'm saying is that there's nothing wrong if a lady feels there's love in her heart,
And she feels the unction,
you know, the unction to function. So if there's a guy that a lady fancies and so on, it's either she shows or she tells. So the onus is upon her. But women are scared because is it patriarchy that has really done that? And then others will say, no, the Bible says he who finds a wife.
it's not she who finds a husband.
You get what I'm saying? But it's not a husband and it's not a wife. Maybe you're looking for a relationship.
Yes.
So you check whether the feeling is mutual or what, and so on. And women give signs. They give signals.
Yeah.
But the men are not seeing it. They are not catching the signal. The men are saying, "Mama, we are waiting for the signal."
The signal is there.
The signal is there. When you get the inboxes, how was your day?
Hi, stranger.
Hi, stranger.
It's a signal.
It's a signal. So we need to tell the men how to read the signs.
Yeah.
So I think those are some of the things. So you see, I talk about several ways to really get a partner, because one of the things it's when you get into a train, you know, don't even put on your headsets and so on, because you are looking. And also you need to dress the part. And if there's a guy probably at your church, hug him and laugh at his jokes even though they are not funny. You get what I'm saying? And also one of the strategies is you can text somebody's friend. If I know that you and who are friends and are tight, I tell your friend, and I'm like, yo, wow, your friend is so awesome. I'm thinking it's a great person. We send in signals. So
you know the message will get transferred.
You get what I'm saying? They screen manage these people.
Wonderful, man. I love that. I mean, from what I'm hearing, you want to help people who are seeking love to find love, and the strategies in the book that will help them get to that point.
Absolutely.
Wonderful.
We all have a desire to love and to be loved. And some of us, and also it's a wonderful thing because those who have been heartbroken, they can find healing in the book. And I also express my very own, I'm stripping. I'm taking a bath and the world is watching. So it's a thing whereby when you expose your own wounds, you are helping other people to really say, okay, cool, I've been having an issue of anger, resentment, jealousy, and some people just indifference. Somebody, like as handsome as you are, somebody has broken your heart, and you have also broken somebody's heart. So and I've been heartbroken, and I've also broken hearts and all that. So basically we're trying to find this thing. We're figuring this thing out, because if you check, somebody who's watching here, I may be named after a prophet, but I may not be a prophet, but I can tell you that somebody who's watching, they actually have a problem of a relationship.
Exactly. When you were talking of, you mentioned something which is I believe is quite powerful. On the back of the book, there's a red heart there, and there's some stitches there. Can you just delve into that a little bit?
Yeah, basically in the book it's a journey whereby it's either we're performing actually a surgery on you. We're cutting you open on the chest, and then also what we do is that we're taking your heart, we're massaging the heart, because some people's hearts look like the face of a man who was in the boxing ring with Muhammad Ali, Miguel Cotto, Floyd Mayweather, Philip Ndo,
Mike Tyson,
Cassius Baloy. So it's crazy. So how do we help somebody who's been heartbroken to really come back? Because what the heart does, part of the problem with our heart is that the heart sort of overlaps and takes certain functions. Its function is to pump blood. So one of these days is pumping Danone, and then slinging a pamper, poison, in terms of jealousy, heartbreak, headaches and all those things. So basically we're saying that heartbreak is not the end of the world. So you can still get mended. That's why I think somewhere in the Bible Jesus says, part of the reasons that he came is to deal with the broken heart.
Mend the broken hearts. Yes.
This thing is a serious issue. It's part of the mission, the founding mission of the Lord himself. So surely we need not to despair.
Wonderful. Mr. Hosea Ramphekwa, I've really enjoyed the chat with you. Inspirational. Where can people get the books?
People can get the books from me. My number is 072-502-6727, 072-502-6727, or they can check me on social media. I'm on Instagram, I'm on Twitter, I'm also on Facebook, Hosea Ramphekwa.
Wonderful. There will be an announcement coming, but I don't want to spill the beans. I'm going to let Hosea spill those beans for you, for himself, but we'll be chatting a lot more, and we'll be seeing a lot more of you.
Of course. Thank you so much. I really had so much fun.
Yeah, me too, man. That was inspirational. That was Mr. Hosea Ramphekwa. You've been watching Talk with Confidence. This is where we have inspirational conversations with inspirational people. Keep tuning in to Global Conference Television. Each other.